Good morning, everyone. How you doing? My name is Joe, and welcome to the Captain's Chat. This is episode number 2 on season 2, and got special guest with me here today, Mark Zupan. He's got about 1 million titles. Obviously, won gold in 2008 with Beijing, in Beijing for the U.S. wheelchair rugby team. Won bronze in 2004, then won worlds in 2006, and so a lot of winning. Probably the most successful period of time in wheelchair rugby for the U.S. And so on top of that, he's an author, he's a speaker, he's an engineer, he is a husband and a father. And I don't know, I'm probably missing some actor. Do you call, I don't know, we'll ask him about acting. If that's an actor, if that's like, can you call yourself an actor or not with what he did? But at any rate, we'll get him on here. We'll have some fun. So it should be a good show. So as always, comment, send your comments. We'll get them on the show and we'll have some fun, guys. Mark, what's up, man?
Hey, Joe, how are you?
Do you call yourself an actor when you put down like titles or anything like that? Or is it more like stunt man?
It's kind of funny. I don't ever really call myself anything besides a dick. It's people always say that. They say, oh, well, you did stuff in Jackass. Well, there's been some cameos and some other stuff. And then the most recent one, people will catch up on Friday Night Lights and they go, wait a minute, I saw you in Friday Night Lights. So would you classify yourself as an actor? I go, I don't know. I guess I get residual checks from SAG. So
yeah,
I guess so. But I don't know, dude. It's very, very strange. That title is one of the stranger ones, I would say.
Yeah, if you're gonna pay me to be, why not? But the residual checks are nice though. Like we went and did what did we do? NCIS New Orleans. And so
Yeah.
you randomly get these like $3 checks in the mail, which are fantastic. So
yeah,
we're eating tonight, baby.
Yeah, I know, right? Hey kids, you can get a off the $1 meal at McDonald's.
Yeah.
Each of you can get one thing.
Yeah.
No, I mean it's mailbox money. The Jackass stuff's always good, but it's nothing big. Imagine the guys in Jackass, how much they're getting
for residuals. Yeah. Or like the big time sitcoms. It's insane.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Yeah. Well, we'll get into some more of those titles, but like, dude, how you been? How's the question of everyone asks is like, how was 2020 for you? Did things change? What all happened for you guys, you and Morgan, during the pandemic?
So it's kind of interesting for me. We just transitioned. So being a civil engineer, we just transitioned all of our staff to home. So everything's virtual. And you have your meetings at the end of the year and they say, hey guys, numbers are down, but this is the most money we've made ever. Because you think about it, expenses are down.
Yeah.
Travel's down.
Yeah, no one's using the office toilet paper, so like that.
Yeah. I mean, toilet paper is you do a run when you have a cripple, you go on a run with toilet paper. But it's been interesting for me because I guess I've been in the house now since March, so almost a year. Thank God Morgan's a chiropractor, so thank God Morgan has been able to keep going to work. It's probably saved our relationship, saved our marriage, and just she doesn't have to put up with me now 24 hours a day. It's just in small little increments. So
yeah,
that's been good. It was the beginning of the pandemic. Stopped drinking the beginning of January, went until the pandemic started. And was doing a lot of miles on the Handbike, and then pandemic started, and I was like, oh well, I'm bored, so yeah, it's about 5 o'clock somewhere.
It's about beer 30, yeah,
beer 30. So kind of played that game for a little bit, and then then find your groove, if you will.
Yeah,
it's definitely been different though, because you have all your trips planned. We were going to go to Europe and see Pearl Jam a couple times. A lot of concerts, a lot of stuff that you were going to do that now you just had to shelve it.
Did you get Eddie to come play a live show for you?
Dude, I wish. I mean, I've been fortunate to be on stage twice with him, and it's one of those things that you can't put into words. I mean, I've seen a lot of shows, and I'm not going to sit here and tell you who I know and what I know, but I've seen a lot of shows at a lot of places, and that the last one I saw him. Excuse me. I saw Pearl Jam. It was 2016, I think, and we were in Miami when I went back on stage, and I think it was 25 years after I was on stage the first time.
Yeah, and
it was, dude, just unreal. It's pretty cool.
That's insane.
Yeah.
I remember the video. Hell of a time.
Yes, sir.
Well, besides like the yo-yo of like, and I think everyone's trying to figure out like, oh, I'm eating too much. Or, I'm probably having too many nightcaps and going like through the roller coaster of that. Like, any crazy quarantine goals pop up?
Well, last year, what I wanted to do is I wanted to do 10,000 miles on the handbike, and started off good, and then pandemic hit.
Yeah,
but one of my major goals was to do an Ironman. I think it's going to be the most difficult thing that you can do to your body. And as a guy in a chair, you're doing all this with your arms. So you're swimming 2 miles, you're biking 100 and almost 120, and then doing a marathon. So they canceled it last year. So it was signed up this year so it's November. I think it's the second weekend in November that the plan is to do that, finish it, and then never do one again.
Just throw the rest of the equipment in the ocean when you're done.
Done. Go away.
Yeah. So
if I make it out of the ocean,
never. Yeah. I would assume, like, because I agree with you. I think it is like the pinnacle of what you can do athletically to like in a day and how hard it is. But I think looking at it for crippled people, especially, my big long legs floating in the water, like the swimming would be the hardest. No.
Yeah.
Or what? Yeah. It just.
I think it's going to be it's going to be the most difficult, just because keeping your legs above, keeping your legs floating. At least they allow cripples to wear wetsuits, so the wetsuit's going to keep you buoyant.
Yeah.
So that'll help quite a bit.
I need a wetsuit with a motor.
Yeah, I know, right? So do I. Have somebody drag your ass along.
Yeah.
So that'll be the most difficult. I think the hand bike. So I picked Florida because it's flat. I mean, I may not be the smartest man, but I'm not an idiot. I'm not going to go pick Coeur d'Alene where it's rolling hills and the water is freezing.
Yeah.
Plus, I don't want to see Hogset, so that's the other side.
I mean, well, Dougie, who does?
Yeah. Dougie, we love you.
Yeah. No. So when you were thinking about training that, you talked a little bit about like when we were talking before about getting a bicep tear. I remember Gumby telling me about that. Got the good old Bobo saying what's up.
What's up, Bobby?
Yeah, Kelly.
Nice.
Everyone's popping out. Wendy. Apparently, you have a training partner in Lucy. Lucy says she'll do an Ironman.
Sweet.
Yeah. Or Boulder, Colorado. No one wants. No, that's free. No. Florida's where it's at.
Yeah.
But did you tear that? What was it? Last year or recently?
So I tore my tricep. I got married. Shit, it's been a year, almost 2 years. So I tore it.
What date? When did you get married?
4/20 of 19.
Can never forget that one. Smart.
No, and people always, on the side note, people always go, whoa, you got married on 4/20? Why? Because Morgan did research, and it was the only day that it hadn't rained in like 8 years. And it just so happened that it was on 4/20. So yeah, we got married 4/20/19. I tore my tricep November of 18. So tore my tricep. It's a pretty good scar too.
Oh God, yeah. Yep. Sure enough.
My doc was good though. He followed the lines. It was like kindergarten. So he cut along the lines.
Yeah.
But I tore it in November. It got infected, so I hit my bursa, blew up my bursa sac. They went in, pulled fluid, ended up taking the bursa sac out. It got infected, and it was infected from November until February. And along the line, they found out that I tore my tricep as well. So at my bachelor party, I'm on a PICC line. So I've IV antibiotics in New Orleans, being an idiot, drinking and doing what else. I land, my doctor calls me. He goes, "Hey, Zupan, where are you?" I'm like, "Well, just landed in New Orleans." He goes, "Can you get back? I need to do surgery today." I'm like, "Doc, I'm sorry. It's not going to happen today." So the day I landed on Sunday from New Orleans, went in the hospital, and he did they cleaned it out three more times and then did surgery the fourth time in February.
Were you in an everyday chair with this torn tricep?
Yeah, so imagine I couldn't use my arms.
No, I don't know. And I hope never to know.
Don't, please. It was the most humbling thing. I called my mom crying. I'm like, "Hey, Ma, I'm fucked. I'm sorry. I'm going to need you to come down." So my mom came down and helped out. And now, mind you, I haven't even been married yet. So I'm about to get married, and this woman has to deal with me with one arm. Legs, no legs, one arm. Trying to transfer, trying to get on the toilet, trying to do everything that you just take for granted. It reminded me of when I first got hurt, but at least when I first got hurt, I could move. So I was in the hospital for a week, and then I was just thinking up ideas of how to take the manual chair and turn it into an electric chair. And then Gumby, Austin's so small. I went to St. David's for rehab for like 3 days just to try to figure out how to transfer, how to take a dump, do everything, right? With your arm fully extended. Yeah. And then I turn, and who wheels into my room but James T. The James T rolls into the room. "Hey, Zupan." I'm like, "Oh, fuck, your brother works. He's running the ER downstairs. That's how you knew." So he shows up, and then we talked about getting the freewheel. No, it's not the freewheel. It's the
smart drive.
Smart drive.
Yeah. Of course he was pedaling that thing. I think he must get a kickback on those things because
he pedals them to everyone. Yep. All you hear is tink, tink.
We were in the dorms in Colorado Springs.
Yeah.
And the only accessible dorms, and he had that. It was the first time he had it, and he had it on like one of his older chairs, which he shouldn't have because it just wobbled. Yeah. And he's coming down that ramp to turn the corner to go down the hill and around that corner, he completely eats it, lands on the side of his wheelchair, and then like I think it was Aoki or someone that got the text. He's like, "Hey, man down by the dorms," and you just see the little smart drive thing just rolling as you come in. Yeah, amazing.
Yeah,
but anyway,
that's a shitty hill.
Oh yeah, it's awful.
It's a shitty hill.
I lost a caster going down that hill once. Not as bad as a smart drive, but at the end it was like, of course I did, right? At the end I was like, "Damn it, where'd it go?" Couldn't find it. Just rolled right into the woods. See how
that works out. Yeah, so he pedaled the smart drive, and the smart drive actually, Mandy, how are you? Yeah. Told you I'd do this at some point.
Yeah, it was Aoki and Mandy picking Gumby up. You know how it is, because like when you're on the team, you're Mark the athlete and then Mark the equipment manager too. Yeah.
And can you help me do this? Here, can you fix this? Can you? Yep.
It's a curse to have hands around a bunch of cripples.
Fuck, you're not kidding. I'll tell you. Yeah. So the smart drive saved, it made life actually able to get from point A to point B, because I'm not allowed to use my arm. So I'm using one hand, you hit it and you're just kind of driving with one hand. So I got prepared for the pandemic before the pandemic, because I didn't leave the house, because I couldn't drive. I couldn't really do anything. Transferring. So ended up having to use a sliding board for 2.5 months until I was able. So I wasn't able to use my arm for 3 months. So my wedding, I'm not allowed to use my arm, and I wouldn't wear the brace because
it's your wedding. Yeah.
So very humbling. I will not lie to you and say that it was fun. It was humbling, frustrating, but you learn a lot about yourself after. I mean, I've been hurt since 93, so 27 years.
Yeah.
You learn a lot about yourself as an older individual, and just what you take for granted.
Yeah.
It was I'm not gonna lie, it sucked. It sucked. I don't suggest it to anyone.
Was it a freak accident?
They don't know how I tore it, honestly, Joe. I think just overwork. It was probably overwork or something that I did in the past.
The miles and miles and miles of, yeah,
or some of the dumb shit that I've you end up doing. Lifting, I probably tore it lifting, and then just there was so much scar tissue. They said that's why it was still able to be used. So I'd go to push the door, and I'm like, man, that hurts a little bit. And then when they went in, they looked. They said it was 3/4 of the way torn. So yeah, cut it and screwed it back into my elbow.
Did you have more function than Rieger with a torn tricep? Or Scott?
No, because they could so Rieger could probably still transfer if you needed to. You know what? I'm gonna have to say that I probably did.
Yeah,
I probably did.
It'd take a lot.
Sorry, Jason, but
yeah. Bobby says lifting weights. Our friend Eric Newby says shout out to One Up.
Well, so funny story on Newby. Funny story on Newby. He texted me last night. He goes, "I'm gonna send a picture of my junk to kind of throw you off." I was like, "Dude, you think that's gonna bother me? You better be a little bit more creative than that. That's not gonna do anything."
I think he said he's got pictures. You got pictures of Gumby, right, Newby?
I don't want to see you do Gumby. I've seen him way more times than I need to.
Moving right along.
Thank you.
Moving right along. Oh man. All right. Well, okay. So I've got a little game to play, because after this little segment, we're going to talk about Murderball.
Okay.
And go through some of that stuff, because I think obviously you get the hindsight of 16 years later, which is insane to think about, like blink of an eye. So, Gumby wrapped around. Oh yeah, we need that picture. Send it. We'll put it up on the show. So here's the game. We're doing pop culture from 2005. So it's been a minute. It's been 16 years.
Okay.
Little pop culture from 2005. So I got a couple of questions for you. And here we go. So give me there's out of like 10 actors, who were like the heartthrob actors back in 2005?
Heath Ledger.
Heath is on there. Yes.
Jake Gyllenhaal.
Yes, he's on there.
Who else was there? Was Joaquin Phoenix on there?
He is on there. He is. I saw him on there, and I'm like, before he went a little nutty, and then came back.
Yeah. So I bet you Luke and Owen Wilson are probably on there. Maybe one of them.
Yeah.
No,
none of those guys are. Matthew McConaughey, George Clooney, of course.
Yeah, I mean, just the regulars.
The Rock.
Well, he was on there back then?
Yeah, dude, he's been around forever now. Gosh,
Jesus.
it was just starting out. Was that like the Scorpion King days, maybe, or like when he's
or the beginning of the Fast and the Furious?
Yeah. Leonardo, of course.
Yeah. Trying to think who else. So, the reason I was able to do that is because I was remembering the Academy Awards. And Heath Ledger, Jake Gyllenhaal, there's a pretty good story about Academy Awards with Heath Ledger. So I was going to take a leak. And before the Academy Awards, you walk down the carpet and then there's a happy hour, essentially. Free drinks and the food that they serve. You got lobster, you got crab, you got all this stuff.
You're eating very well.
Yeah.
And drinking very well.
For happy hour.
Yeah.
So I'm going to take a leak. I look over and Heath Ledger's there. I was like, oh, shit. And mind you, going in Hollywood, everyone was just so cool. They were just so really, really nice. I look over, I go, hey, good luck. He goes, fuck, this ain't no horse race. I don't give a shit. Because he was up for Brokeback Mountain.
Yeah.
And I'm going, well, that was pretty cool. And he goes, hey, are you having fun? And we just kind of do small talk on the way to the bathroom and come back. And it's just like, fuck, it's the side of Hollywood that you don't expect because everyone is just cool in their own regard and way and such. So it was pretty neat.
Did you push that a little bit? Did you roll over anyone's feet just to see if you can get a reaction or like any wheelchair pranks? Kind of.
So, well, the prank was, so initially I wanted to wear shorts to the Academy Awards and it was frowned upon. So I got a suit. So Marc Jacobs, the designer, he gave me a suit to wear. So
did you want to wear like the short suit? That's that's a thing now too. 15 years later, you're like, come on, man. LeBron, all these guys are wearing short suits.
I know. I was gonna cut the pants on this suit, and the suit was probably, I don't even know how much it was.
Yeah.
But he gave me a pair of Marc Jacobs Vans, so at least I rocked Vans. And so I'm getting out of the limo, and there's the red carpet. They go, hey, take your time going down the red carpet. You may never do this again. I looked at him and I go, may never do this again? No, I'm not going to do this again. This is like fairy tale. So I'm pushing down the carpet and I turn around and I go, oh shit, I forgot something. So I did half the carpet again, and then you run into
Frenchie, this is your final comment on the show. I'm not going to let you be on the show anymore. These comments. Every show he comes on.
Yes, Chuck. Yes, Chuck. That's exactly what happened. So it was pretty cool. Ran into Joan Rivers and I was scared out of my mind because her face didn't move. But that we could go down the path of Academy Awards and everything else for a long period of time. But it was pretty cool. It was a pretty cool experience.
Yeah, absolutely. I can't imagine. Couple more questions on this 2005 pop culture thing we'll get in. All right, so this is the guy's quote. You got to guess who said this. And he said, and his quote is, "I'm the decider."
I'm the decider. Is that like a Pacino or
You would think so. You think it's like Denzel, like the Equalizer?
Yeah.
Let me ask it again. Let me ask it again. I'm what you call the decider. I'm a decider.
It's not McConaughey, is it?
No, George W. Bush.
Oh, yeah.
George. Yeah. Oh, Meredith had it. Boss.
Of course he did. Of course he did. Captain, of course Captain had it.
Yeah.
That's a surprise.
Okay, let's go one more. Name. Let's see. How much was a gallon of gas in 2005?
A gallon of gas was probably $1.68.
You know what is funny is, well, and this is according to popculturemadness.com, so I can't really verify anything here, but it's $2.34. I think it's like $2. think it's like 209 right now or something like
Here
that.
it's $1 in Austin. It's like $1.68.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
When you don't live in the tundra like you do, you can get gas easily. You don't have to.
Yeah, we're not exactly in the oil belt.
No.
Not at all. All right, so hey, let's dive into a little Murderball talk.
Okay.
You know, we got the poster there. You don't look a day older. Look at that, yeah, right there. A few more tattoos now.
Just a couple.
It's a little bit more ink. So what did you think about, like, when it was all going on? You guys filmed from what, 2002 ish up until the Paralympics in Athens.
Yeah.
At the time, you, Andy, Bob, Scott, you're going through getting to do all kinds of fun, being on different shows, talk shows, the whole deal. Larry King Live, right? Like the whole gamut, and really put the sport on the map. At the time, think back to like 2005 when you're doing the tours and the press tours and all that good stuff. Like, did you realize how big of a deal it was?
At first, in 2002, we didn't really. When I realized it was a big deal was when it started doing press for it. I was fortunate to be the guy that got to go and do all these talk shows. I realized it was a big deal. A couple of things. I was in LA coming out of a restaurant, and Luke Perry from 90210, stops in the middle of the street, stops his car on Robertson in LA. He goes, "Zupan, Luke Perry, I love your movie." I'm going, what the fuck is going on here? It started in Sundance. So Sundance was crazy. We had 2 showings to start off with, and then the 2 showings I think went to 5 or 6. The thing about Sundance, the volunteers tell people what movies to go see. And they screened our movie beforehand, and they were telling people, "Hey, go see it." So the first showing was awesome. It's me, Scott, Andy, Bob, Joe. We're all in the back watching it, and we'd never seen it. I'd seen screeners of it. Like I went to New York to watch a rough cut, and you see the final product, and you're just blown away. The second screening, Roger Ebert was there, and he stayed. And Joe asked a dumb question and goes, "Hey, Mr. Ebert, did you like it?" He goes, "If I wasn't still here, I wouldn't have liked it." So it kind of puts it into perspective. We got into parties. I got into parties, Joe, that I had no business being. So it was me, Igo, and a couple others. We went into a party, and we just had a lanyard that said Murderball on it.
Yeah.
And the guy goes, "Oh yeah, you guys can come in. Come in." Looking around, and Ross from Friends, David Schwimmer, comes up, and he goes to Igo. He goes, "How are you involved with this?" "Oh, I'm the dude that broke his neck." And Schwimmer just goes, "What?" and walks away. And Igo's like, "Fuck you, Ross. Fuck you." So that was kind of the snowball. But then once you get into the LA scene, and you do Craig Ferguson, you do the Tonight Show, you just start going to all these gatherings that they're like, "Hey, why don't you come?" It blew me away.
Yeah.
The guys that put this thing together, they didn't just put a good movie together, but they put together a teaching tool. Not only was it fun to watch, but it was, and it probably still is, a staple in rehab, just for the fact of, hey, in 1993, when you get hurt, there isn't the internet to say what happens when you break your neck.
Right.
You had to figure it out.
Right.
So, it was crazy. We were real fortunate to get hooked up with Henry and Dana because they got it. I remember Andy said when they asked us if we wanted to do it, he goes, dude, just make us look cool. And they put together a really, really good, just a good film. I wish it was used back then for Paralympics, because I think it would have helped. I got in an argument with Charlie Hubner. We were in Chicago.
So like it was very much not promoted by the US in US Paralympics or US Olympics or nothing. Was it because of the harshness of the story told and the way it was told, or like why was that such a big deal?
I think so. Charlie and I got in an argument, and I was like, dude, we're gift wrapping this for you. Use it. Just try to help grow the Paralympics back in 2004, 2008. He just didn't feel it was the right time to drop that on pop culture or the masses, because they still weren't real. In 2005, people still didn't really know what a wheelchair was, or didn't know what the Paralympic Games were, or didn't. So, it's unfortunate, but it, I think it's helped. It's helped along the way. When it went on to Amazon Prime early in the pandemic, it's pretty cool because you get, oh, I finally saw your movie, or I finally saw this, or I finally saw that. So,
yeah.
I wish it was.
It's interesting because 16 years later, in the movie still is changing lives. It's still changing perspectives. People that watch it go, "Oh, these guys are normal."
Yeah.
Scott's the pretty boy, Andy's the recluse, Bob's got this crazy story, Mark's an asshole. Like there's just like there's like normal personalities that you'd see in able bodies. Oh, they're normal people.
Yeah.
With kind of normal lives. They might do things a little differently. Did that exceed your expectations when that happened? And the follow-up to that is like, I still don't understand. Take me back into like the room when this was announced, when the Penguins stole the award. Like what was there uproar about that? Or people like, hey dude, I don't know how you lost to these guys, or hey, I know how you lost to these guys and here's why, or something like that?
Yeah, no, I know exactly how we lost. So it was I was at the Academy Awards, and Charlize Theron was the one who was presenting the best documentary. And earlier that year, I went to the Eon Flux premiere, and I was reluctant to go down the red carpet. I'm like, guys, I just want to go see the movie and then just go home. They're like, Zupan, go down. So MTV's making me go down. They're making me go down the red carpet, right? So I'm going down the red carpet, and I pull up to this tall blonde, and I look and I go, oh, that's Charlize Theron. She turns to me and goes, I'm the biggest press junkie for your movie. I can't wait until it comes out on DVD. And I'm going, wait a minute.
Like,
what is going on here?
Yeah.
And I had a DVD in my pouch, so I handed it to her. I go, here you go. And she's like, oh, this is awesome. And then at the Academy Award luncheon, where all the nominees go, went over and we just started talking. We talked for like 15 minutes. She goes, I'm going to miss my plane, but I want to talk. I want you to meet my mom. I was like, damn, this is cool. So when she went up there to present it, we're like, oh, this is going to be awesome. She's going to present it. We're going to win. The thing with March of the Penguins, the original March of the Penguins at Sundance, it was the French directors saying, "Oh, the penguins, they carry this egg for a long, long distance." Well, they sold the movie to, I don't even know if it was Paramount or one of the big companies, and then Morgan Freeman narrated the March of the Penguins. Well, Morgan Freeman can narrate a piece of poop down the toilet, and it would do really, really well. So that's
Morgan Freeman. Yeah. He's voiced. I mean, he's voiced God in like 3 different movies. So there's that.
Yeah, so that's it was unfortunate because that would have been a heck of a party. It was a great party, but it would have been a really, really good one.
Yeah.
It was still pretty cool. I'm not going to lie.
No, for sure. So I guess the follow-up to that question is like, basically right after that, then 2006 happens, 2008 happens, kind of the most successful run in USA with rugby history, except for like maybe the late 90s had a really good run as well. But was Murderball a kind of springboard into that? How did that kind of work out with heading into 2005 to 2008, and then some? But like, was there a correlation there, or was it just? What was the mindset for you guys?
So 2004 made you realize, you have these goals. You want to win gold. And they thought that the movie was going to be like Rocky. Rocky loses to Apollo, then comes back and he wins. You realize in 2004, you realize just the heartbreak, how much you've worked. And you learn that you didn't work hard enough. So it was a springboard in the fact of, I don't want to feel this again. I don't want to lose. I don't like losing, and I don't want to lose a big international competition again. So between 2004 and 5, we as a team worked our butts off. And then going into 2006 in Christchurch, New Zealand for World Champs, we were winning, and we were winning handily, right? And then you always have the rivalries with Canada. So the Canada games end up being 1 and 2 point games when they shouldn't have been. But we played to get into the finals. We played them in the semis, and we hadn't lost. Play them, beat them, and then play New Zealand in New Zealand. And we played the perfect game. We had 0 turnovers. We got 2 jump balls, 0 turnovers. This is before the shot clock. So yeah, it was by far, that was leading up to 2008. That was by far the most fun that we had as a team.
Yeah.
And just, to play a perfect game, because you always want to play a perfect game. Yeah. That was the only perfect game I think ever played probably in my life. So that kind of set us where we wanted to be, but then you had another 2 years to get to Paralympics. World Championships is great, but the pinnacle is
gold at the Paralympics.
Gold medal. Yeah. So, leading up to that, it I think put everything into perspective for us and made us just want to work that much more diligently, work together. And the team changed a little bit from 06 to 08, and then you got to just gel. So I think it did help quite a bit. It makes you realize that you think you're working hard enough. Well, yeah, there's room to go.
Yeah. Yeah. That's good. That's a good word of advice right there for sure. I'm sure with the movie and with everything that you've accomplished in your life, you've certainly gotten the I word before which I feel like in our community we shy away from sometimes, in the word inspiring.
Yeah.
After all these years in the sport and then the community and your work outside of the sport, what truly inspires you? What do you consider inspiring?
You know, I'm inspired by people that work hard, you know, hardworking individuals. And it doesn't matter what it is, but you see somebody struggle, and and it could be in the workplace, with life, with whatever, and to see them on the other side of where they were. I don't know. I've always been one to don't take anything for granted. If you want something, work your butt off for it. No one's going to give you anything.
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of cool to see parents. You know, I'm inspired by parents, good parents, in the fact of we don't really know what we're doing. You know, we have kids, but okay.
Yeah.
We're kind of winging it. You know, we turned out okay. Our parents, I don't think, had an idea what the hell they were doing. And, you know, I watch Morgan with my kid, and it's not her son, but, you know, you watch her just be a mother. I mean, mothers around everywhere.
Yeah.
Guys, we don't really do anything. As okay, you produce a child, and then the mom nurtures them, and you know you get more involved when they're 2 and 3. But you know, yeah, I'd say, Joe, probably hard work, and just seeing the underdog work their butt off to win,
Yeah,
or to achieve something that you didn't ever think that was possible. That's pretty powerful.
Yeah, absolutely. I like that. As we're wrapping up here, I got one more question, and then we'll do some wrap up rapid fire questions here, 1-word answers. And the last question,
we already blew through an hour.
Yeah, we're flying, dude. We are flying.
We'll have to do another one.
Yeah, for sure. What I want to ask you is, one of the things that I love to do is build community. I think the rugby community during this pandemic it's been a weird time where we're used to traveling and getting to see each other and playing in tournaments or whatever. And but one thing that I've always thought about is, like, what can the rugby community do better to support each other? How can we uplift people, or maybe call them out or challenge them? Like you said, hey, maybe work a little harder, whatever. But like, what can we do to make a more cohesive community and continue to grow as a sport?
I think that the challenging each other, you know, this day and age, I think it's come into, oh, everyone here, you guys did well here.
Participation more and blah, blah, blah. And like, yeah.
Yeah. You know, it's hard. I think, I mean, I always think hold people accountable.
Yeah.
And in the grand scheme of things, no one's going to give you anything. So you think you're working hard. Well, there's somebody working harder than you. So you need to work that much more efficiently, but never be satisfied with anything.
Yeah.
As a community, you know, it's hard. It's hard with wheelchair rugby as a community. Yeah, we don't get to see each other. You know, it's tournaments, or it's US ball, or it's whatever. But the older we get, you find that you don't do as much communication. You just take it for granted.
Yeah.
Don't forget that you have friends out there. Just drop a line. It's easy this day. Just pick up the phone, drop a text, be done.
Yeah.
it's just, life's real short. So just remember that your friends are there if you need them at any particular time, but don't be shy, and don't not contact them. Throw them a message, say hi.
Yeah.
It's especially this day and age with the pandemic and what have you. Friends are, my wife gets mad at me because anywhere we go, I'll know somebody because I'll talk to anyone.
Right.
I'm pretty good at talking to, I'll throw people texts. Hey, happy birthday. Hey, throw them some nice choice words and then be done. But, I be aware of people. Say hi. People always look at you. They're going to stare at you no matter. But if you make them feel uncomfortable, it makes it even more fun.
Awesome. All right. So we're going to do some little rapid fire wrap up here to end it. Mark, thank you so much for being on the show. It was an awesome conversation, and looking forward to the next time. Real quick. All right, here we go. So when you're not working, how do you spend your time right now?
On the handbike.
On the handbike. So, are you outside on it, or are you on a trainer? I'm
on a so I have 2 stationaries. Okay. I got a good UBE. A buddy of mine owned a gym.
Okay.
And he was selling the gym. He's like, hey, you want the UBE? And it's one of the ones that you program and do whatever else. I had to fix it. And then I found one online for maybe a quarter of the price. And this one you can watch TV now.
Oh, nice.
So I'll go out in the garage and spend some time on that. I'll do, typically it's 15 miles. My minimum ride is 15 miles. And you got to set, just like anything, setting goals. My biggest goal is to do 10 miles in under 21 minutes.
Okay.
And it's flying. I think I got 10 miles in 21:10, and you're moving. Yeah. You're doing, so you got to still set goals because it's boring as could be, but
right.
I'll do that. Enjoy my bourbon collection, and unfortunately for my wife, try to spend some time with her.
Fair enough. Hey, you've been a lot of places. Anything on the bucket list?
Antarctica.
What are you going to do there?
Just go.
And be there. Like, you take a helicopter out there and then they drop you off for a little bit, or like, what do you do?
So, friend of mine went on a boat. He was down in Argentina.
Yeah.
Got on a fishing boat. He was able to jump off of an iceberg into the Antarctic Ocean. Said it was colder than you couldn't. That's one of the places, just because it's so remote, not many people get there. I want to go there. I want to go to South Africa. I haven't been to Africa yet.
You just want to go to Antarctica to find out what the whole March of the Penguins thing was about? Or that'd be a great documentary. Mark Zupan goes and kicks a penguin. Great.
Yeah, well, that would be the objective. Go bowling with penguins. Yeah, no, I don't know. I've always been intrigued about that.
Yeah.
Spend some more time. I want to go to Russia. I had an opportunity to go to Russia back in 2000. Shoot, must have been 5 or 6, but I had to do some book stuff, so I wasn't able to go. But yeah, those are a couple bucket list things.
Let me ask you one more. I'm okay. No, I'm not.
We got 11 minutes. You got more time.
Don't ask your. No, I'm not going to ask what your favorite word is. We know that.
I think we already know that one.
What's the worst job you've ever had?
The worst job. So when I was living in Minnesota, my dad ran distribution centers.
Okay.
And how old was I? I had to be like 13 years old. And he said, okay, well, you need a summer job. So I was in the maintenance garage, and I was cleaning out the troughs in the maintenance garage where all the oil and all the nasty, nasty stuff from trucks go. I did that, and I had to paint the semi wheels. So you look at the semi wheels. If you ever look at one, there's a mileage counter on the back, probably the back. So if it's 2 wheels, the back wheel.
Yeah.
And I had to paint those white. That was probably the worst job I had. You know, I've had paper routes in the winter, which suck, but I think that pretty much sucked, because after that I worked in restaurants. I worked in restaurants from Pewaukee, Wisconsin down to Florida until I got hurt. Or there was one other. Right after I got hurt, I had to put together. So my mom thought it was a great idea. A friend of theirs had a handle company, so I had to put together handles for drawers, and my hands didn't work like they did, so you're getting frustrated because you're just trying to screw one screw in. That sucked pretty bad too.
That sounds awful. I think my worst one was corn detasseling. I did the out in the field and took the tops of the corn. It was awful. I was in like 8th grade.
Sounds miserable.
I wanted a pair of Nikes, man. Like, I wanted to go out there and get it was awful. I forgot to ask this question. And we had a little time.
Okay.
And it's a great question. So give me your favorite memory playing club rugby. And I would assume it's the time that Scott and Andy called you out for having a necklace on. I thought that'd probably be your favorite one. And then your favorite memory in USA.
Fuck. Yeah, that I was so pissed because we were beating them.
Yeah.
It was me, Jeremy Tinker, Norm, and Bootsy. And it was nationals in Austin. And I forgot that I had a necklace on.
Is that the tournament that Gumby fired up the heat and everything?
Yeah. I think that was one of the ones that Gumby probably added some man, I was so pissed.
Home field advantage. I remember because Scott told me the story. He goes, I don't know. Well, it was kind of like we're going, yeah, do you see he has the necklace on? Yeah. You gonna call him out on it? Nah, I don't think we should. And then they're losing, and they're like, well, now's the time.
It did, and then we ended up losing by 1. But it was a thick braided necklace, and I was so pissed. I ripped it off, and I cut my neck. And I threw it to Dan Buckingham on the side. I was like, here. And it was playing against Shin. And this was right in my probably the best I've been playing. It was 2005 to 2006. It was a great game, but man, I was pissed. Is that my favorite? That's not my favorite. I think my favorite was, man, that's a hard question because
you can only have one.
You know, when we won nationals, it was me, Scott, Shin, and Norm. We playing Lakeshore in Louisville.
That was the genesis of the high-low in our sport.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Shin was in the box. And Lakeshore was about to score. And they scored with 3 seconds, something more than they should have. They should have bled it to about 1 second and then scored.
Yeah.
So Trey was our ref. I go, Trey, give me the ball. Give me the ball now. Shin comes out of the box. I threw a 3/4 court pass. One bounce, hits him in the lap. He goes to the corner, blows Bob out of the corner, scores, and we win.
I watched it. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
It was that was probably one of my favorite memories because to come back to I think we went into overtime and then ended up winning. But
now we Now we got the peanut gallery coming out.
No, Bob, whatever. Yeah, sure you did. Try again. So that was awesome. Then we ended up beating Portland. We ended up beating Portland with Ian. So they had Ian. We beat them in overtime as well.
And that was when you guys beat Lakeshore. That was the first championship game they didn't make in 10 years, right? Like it was like that was the end of That
was the end of the
I remember one of those crossover games. It was one of the most funniest memories I remember from like my first couple of years, because I see Joe Wilmoth, just a mammoth of a man, stand up with his chair attached to him, yelling at a ref like he had a big hemorrhoid sticking out of him. It was amazing. It was amazing. I'm like, what's this guy doing? Like at that point, I'm going, like, I told April, I'm like, I probably shouldn't play the sport. Like the guy can stand up with a chair attached to him.
My first experience was with Steve Pate. So Steve Pate comes in, walking in, carrying his chair over his shoulder. I was like, wait, what is going on here?
Yeah.
This behemoth of a man.
Just this mountain man carrying a chair strapped to his shoulder.
Yeah.
Bob wants you to check the video. Bob,
guess what? You lost. I don't care. And then US ball, there's a couple. The most humbling was when I went and tried out for World Champs in '98, and I thought, oh yeah, I'll make this team, and no sir.
Yeah,
that made me realize how much more I had to do. So it gave you where you needed to be. 2006 was the best I'd ever played.
Yeah. The New Zealand perfect game and all that. And yeah.
You know, when we beat New Zealand, it was funny. So Hibbets, Big Daddy, we win. He comes up, I grab him around the neck and he stands up. And he has me attached to him. We're on the front page of the Christchurch Times. It says US wins.
That's awesome.
That was fantastic.
Yeah.
And then obviously winning a gold medal in Beijing was, you know, that's your ultimate goal. And you finally get there and in front of your parents, in front of your best friends. Grushka, sorry you weren't there. But it, you know, those are some pretty big accomplishments and big memories. They're, you know, kind of shaped your life, if you will.
Yeah.
Ended rugby in the right way.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I mean, and kind of cherry on top, that year that you spent in Phoenix in 2009. That was my like moment of, I need to get a lot better between you and Shin and Nikki and Scott and Big Joe.
It was you know, it was, looking back at it, it was fun, but then from then to where you are now, you saw a big improvement. It's fun to see because we'd always said, Joe, it was, why do you think Scott's like, oh yeah. So Scott's always been good at picking out players that he thinks that are going to succeed and end up succeeding.
Yeah.
It was really, really cool just for me to watch you just blow past me. I'm going, wait, what just happened here? It's fun. It's fun to see when your friends get that much better and then they end up becoming better than you in certain aspects. And it's real humbling and it's real cool. And I'm glad that you saw that and were able to take it and move on to the next level and higher than the next level. It's cool.
It's like what you said. You get an opportunity and you get to choose. You want it, work harder. And that year was definitely baptism by fire. There was some good times. And yeah. So no, absolutely. Well, I appreciate you so much. Thanks for staying on a little later. Everyone in the
you want to
comments,
go longer? We can go longer.
I'm just gonna have you on again. Is what we'll do.
Okay.
Everyone that came on and commented, thank you so much. As always, go over to usawr.org to find out more. Mark, I don't know if you're on Instagram, Twitter. How can people get a hold of you? Facebook?
You were laughing at me yesterday. You said, "Oh yeah, we're gonna do this Facebook Live." I went, "I've heard of it."
Let me ask Morgan.
Yeah. So
yeah.
She goes, "Okay, let me explain to you how this works." Okay. Yeah, I'm on Instagram, mzupan at Instagram, Twitter. I have a Facebook. I have a Twitter. I don't think I've ever been on Twitter. Facebook, it's there. I don't know if I ever use it.
Yeah.
The one thing that I will do, I'll check Instagram every now and then.
Yeah.
Just not a big social media guy, I guess.
Yeah.
If I was smart, I would be and use it. I should have used it when it started to kind of make a name, but whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, man, thank you so much. Appreciate it. Thanks for jumping on. Everyone, have a great week. We'll be back next week for the Captain's Chat Tuesday at 11. Absolutely. Come check us out. Tune in next week.